All right, thank you for staying with us. Nigeria's unique challenges require a proactive approach to emergency response, and technology can play a vital role in enhancing public safety. With a growing population and increasing urbanization, the country faces a range of emergencies, from accidents and injuries to medical emergencies and natural disasters. Leveraging technology such as mobile apps, emergency response platforms, and data analytics can help ensure citizens are equipped to handle these situations effectively. And by harnessing the power of technology, we can empower citizens to respond to emergencies with confidence. Well, joining us in the studio for this conversation is the Managing Director and CEO, Hali and Rainbow Specialized Laboratories. He's also the co-founder, Helpbody Emergency Response, Dr. Ademolu Owoyele. Good morning. Thank you for joining us.
Thank you for having me.
And also joining us via Zoom, a medicine expert, a medical director, Well-Lane Health, and co-founder, Helpbody Emergency Response, Dr. Abayomi Oluwakolade. Thank you for joining us.
Thank you very much. Good morning, Nigeria. Good morning, everybody.
Good morning.
Thank you. Now, let me begin with you, Dr. Oluwakolade, on the matter of emergency response in Nigeria and how we have been able to handle it over the years. In recent times, you see certain persons go for their own birthday parties and you see them slump and die. And a lot of people, they cannot, resuscitate these persons back to life. And that was how we even lost one of our music icons. Talk to us what really the challenges have been regarding addressing emergency issues in Nigeria.
Yeah, thank you very much for that question. I think it's a variety of factors, actually, but I think largely it's cultural in nature. I think Nigerians do not understand the role they have to play when it comes to emergency response, and that cascades all the way up to even government. Over the years, we have tried, to set up, a lot of systems to handle emergencies in the country. You can see what Lagos State is doing, which I think is probably the best as we speak. But even at that, it's still not enough, because if you look at what we have right now, with the rate of hypertension in Nigeria, sudden death and accidents, what we have as structure cannot deal with that. And the systemic, there is no organized structure that can handle the 200 million Nigerian population when it comes to emergency. It's not only Lagos. We have 36 states in federation, 30 states. So you can imagine if only Lagos has something and others don't have, then we have not done a good job. So it's what everybody has to live in their mind. And that's why we're here today to talk about why everybody must participate. Getting the community, everybody must be a responder. That's where it can work, because we don't have what it takes yet. To buy ambulances is not cheap. They are not cheap. But guess what? If somebody could have beside you, like you said, now you have a birthday, you collapse, or you're driving a bike, someone hits you. The people near you are the ones that can actually help you in that first 1 hour, which is very key. We call it the golden hour, right? So whether it's from government, structures, but down to community level, everything can work together. But then, for me, it has to start with people, because people witness emergencies, not the government. So if you're able to respond to, instead of taking pictures or taking videos and put on social media, if you're able to do something to a choking victim, you have a cardiac arrest, heart attack victim, your neighbor, your mom, your auntie, your uncle can help you in that situation, then that would be fantastic. So for me, we've come a long way, but we are not there yet as a country when it comes to emergency care. Thank you.
Right, and the next question should be for you here. Is this what your partner has said? Is that the reason why you guys thought of Helpbody? And what is Helpbody? What is it about? How can it help?
Yeah, thank you for that question. And I want to say Barakadi Salah to all our viewers.
Oh, that's true.
Yeah, thank you very much. Basically, I think it's a holistic problem. The problem we have in our hands is of immense magnitude. I think the first thing is when you mention emergency response to any politician, any leader, any Nigerian on the road, they think about ambulances.
Right.
And that needs to change. We think about the physical things. But the greatest challenge that we have in this part of the world to emergency response is knowledge. It's the knowledge gap. Even the Bible says what? You know, my people die because of the lack of knowledge.
Yeah.
It's simple. Without basic knowledge, 9 out of every 10 Nigerian, if we put 10 people in this room, 9 of us knows nothing to do in an emergency. And the prevalence is so high. Hypertension right now, WHO says that 1 out of every 3 persons has hypertension in Nigeria, which is a major risk factor for what? For sudden death. 1 out of every 5 Nigerians die from sudden death. You can see the risk right there. So it's important for us to understand, know what to do. And this is the reason why we felt you need no inspiration, you know, to actually think of what to do. We've invested over 40 years of our lives in Nigeria, you know, so we believe that we have to do something. If you work within the care sector, like I do as a doctor, and you go into the hospital on a daily basis, and you see the way people die for needless reasons, for needless causes, you need no further inspiration. If you walk the street of Lagos, just as Veronica said right now, and you watch your TV, and you see a man celebrating the birthday of his wife, slump right there. And you know, on the 3rd of March, on the 4th of March, we have a young budding technology enthusiast, a tech mogul, who was hit on the street of Lagos. We all heard the stories.
Yes.
You know, his name was TJ. And it wasn't that there were no people around him. There were lots of people around him, but they know nothing to do. By having your phone, the closest thing to you is your telephone right now. All the 4 of us has this. This is your buddy that can provide you with help when you need one. Even when you go into the toilet, this is your buddy. And that's why we have the Helpbody. And that's the reason why we are applying technology to see how we can actually scale the process. Because we cannot go into every office to train people. What you get is that, oh, we train 10,000 people in the next 5 years. We train 100,000 people in 10 years. Really? We have 250 million Nigerians. But almost 100 million Nigerians have a phone, a smartphone. How can we leverage that to ensure that people develop and improve their capacity? And so this is the reason why we come with this brilliant idea. The 3 of us, Oluwale Kolade Abayomi, Dotun Badoye, and myself, and say that, okay, how can we, you know, solve the problem in Nigeria? We can't wait for the government. Some state governments are doing little. A few of them are doing well. Lagos State is doing fantastically well. And they've seen something very nice in what we have introduced into this innovation into the country. And the Lagos State Commission of Health is backing it up. You know, right now, supporting it to ensure that we go miles, and we ensure that, you know, we could easily put this on the app as an app, but we have not done that, and we're not interested in doing that. If we put this as an app on your phone and you subscribe 10,000 naira, your Netflix account is 7,000 naira a month. In a year, it's about 82,000 naira. If you do 10,000 naira of this just for the rest of the life, and 100,000 people subscribe, that's $1 billion naira for us. We're good.
Exactly. But, you know, not to cut you short, I love how passionate you are, you know, speaking about health. And your partner said something. When somebody falls down, the first thing people do is to take the video and the video.
Yeah.
And it comes to the fact that knowledge, people do not even know what to do.
Yeah.
Now, I want to know the features of this, because this seems like a fantastic idea. You need to see how excited I am, because we have lost a lot of lives due to the fact that people don't know what to do. And it's been worrisome.
Yeah.
So what are some of the features of Helpbody? Okay,
yeah, just that you're as excited as I am. You know, when we came up with the idea, I was excited too, because we feel that there's a lot of social impact we can achieve with this. The goal is to be able to save 250,000 lives on an annual basis, and we can do that because according to the WHO, 50% of deaths in low to income countries, you know, can be preventable with timely emergency care. On the flip side, what this means is that if I'm able to introduce and apply Helpbody appropriately, I can save 50%, half of the people that dies in Nigeria. That's the goal. So what are the features? We've developed a QR code system that can be put in every public place in Nigeria. Just as I told you, we're not interested in putting it on the app because the elites can easily get there. But how about the woman on the streets of Lagos? How about the trader? How about the mechanic? So we want this to be in every public place, every mall, every TVC branch, every bank branch, every corporate building in Nigeria, every university, every school, so that everybody can just scan it. This is the closest thing to you. Scan it, learn and act. Scan, learn and act. So in the comfort of your home, let's say I come into TVC right now, I see it, I download it, I go to my home, I put it on TV, I watch with my family. So already it's cascaded to 5 people in my family and everybody can learn. What are the do's and don'ts in an heart, when you have a heart? How do you recognize a heart attack? That's the first thing. What are the do's and don'ts? Because most times, people kill the person even before they die. As an example, the young man I told you about, that's TJ. There were people around him. But what happened? It was bundled into a Korokwe bus. You know what a Korokwe bus is? That tiny buses. It was bundled. Somebody with a possible spinal cord injury after hit and run. But really, if you had your phone with you, if you had the knowledge to do what you're supposed to do, the closest ambulance point to you was right on the floor. I don't want to mention the name of any hospital right now, but we do. You know, this is life and death. Reddington Hospital was just behind that point on Ozumba, by the way. It's right here. You could have gotten them to pick up the boy. Evercare was just across the road. This boy has $1 million business.
Okay, for the purpose of publicity or commercial, we can't be mentioning some of those things. But it's just sad that we have this kind of situation, and because of education, knowledge gap, a lot of people just die for nothing. But let me take it back to Dr. Oluwakolade now to speak on some of the things he raised earlier on, talking about culture in handling emergencies, and also the fact that everyone must be an emergency responder as we speak. Talk to us about the importance of why everyone has to be an emergency responder. Look at what happened in Mokwa and what just even happened in Kaduna. There was a mudslide. When we are saying everyone has to be an emergency responder, talk to us about how important it is that we need to learn and bridge the knowledge gap and how we can move this even further.
All right, thank you very much. So, you know, emergencies, it can happen anywhere, in the marketplace, in the shopping mall, at the airport, in the school, anywhere it can happen. So now that's the community, right? So how do you, bridge that gap? How do you train the community? Why is it necessary? Because it happens within the community, and it's that simple. In fact, over half of cardiac arrest or sudden death happens outside the hospital environment. So you can imagine that means that it happens in our faces. So if we don't have the knowledge, then it's so sad, we're going to lose a lot of lives. So what we're saying is we want the community to be the focal point, right? We want them to take that responsibility, to want it to be cultural to them, foundational to them, that natural to them, that you as an individual, you can respond at any time, if somebody collapses beside you. And I'll tell you for free, the biggest issue we face right now in this century is sudden collapse. In fact, I'm a doctor, it's our biggest nightmare. If somebody collapses beside you, what are you going to do? That's the ultimate question. If your father collapsed in the room, your pastor collapsed in the church, your driver collapsed while driving, what are you going to do? And that's why we need to...
Could you quickly give us what, for instance, if someone collapses or have a cardiac arrest, just give us an example of how people should address that by way of educating our viewers, quickly.
Okay, so somebody collapsed beside you, right? The first thing to do, I know it's going to be very hard, but don't panic. That's the teaching. Do not panic, because guess what? Somebody collapsing doesn't mean he's dead already. Let's know that. Collapsing doesn't mean that person is dead. So do not panic. You have to call out that person. You call them out or you tap them, right? Gently, or even vigorously. Tap them or call them out. If not their name, call them. They don't respond to you, right? That's when you can start, you know what, this person is now unconscious. Can I do chest compression? Which is the ultimate goal. Somebody collapses, you have called the person, you have tapped the person, as a layman right now, and he's not responding to you, then immediately you can open their shirt, open the tie, remove their tie, but you have to start what we call chest compression immediately. You don't have to waste time, because every second counts. And how do you do chest compression? You can't loud. You just you clench your fist and you go to the middle of the chest, and you start compressing fast and up and down, up and down. You count 30 before response, and you continue. Meanwhile, you have told somebody beside you to call the ambulance. That's the way it works. So, because if you're compressing, you cannot compress for too long because you get tired yourself. So, sorry, can you call the ambulance for me? Call Lagos 76712, call them, I'm there, and they come. But you have to compress. That's the only way we can save a life. Somebody that's collapsed beside you. If you witness a collapse, you must do chest compression if the person is not responding. That's the ultimate goal. Thank you.
Okay, Doctor, this thing we are talking about needs a lot of public education for people to even know that there's a QR code. We see QR codes everywhere now, but how do we recognize that one that is from Helpbody? And how do you get the information to as many people as possible? What are the partnerships that you have done?
Yeah, thank you very much. I think the first thing is to leverage on the power of collaboration, and this is the reason why Oluwakolade, when he initially thought of this, did not say, oh, let me do it alone. And he felt that, okay, I need the likes of Dotun, I need the likes of Ademolu, let's come together and do something. That's the power of collaboration. And let's see how we can scale it up. Beyond that also, we're not just waiting there, we're working with the public sector, you know, the state government. There's so many features that are coming on. Let me give you an example. One of the greatest challenges in state health systems right now is that you take the ambulance, takes somebody to the hospital, and they found out that there's no bed space. We're actually changing that with Helpbody, so that we provide real-time information to the emergency, the paramedics, so that they know where to go and where not to go. Because the most important resource in an emergency is time, and you don't have that time. So those are the things. So a lot of partnerships, and a lot of partnership with corporate organizations, because we've invested a lot of our resources into this, a lot of our time. So we now need Nigerians to support us to come in to ensure that we can get to almost every Nigerian. Our goal is to upskill 50 million Nigerians in the next 5 years. We can't do it alone. There's no way, you know, but we can actually achieve it. Let me give you an example. If you get one of the largest banks in Nigeria today subscribes to this, you know, and makes it available in his branch. If 100 people enter the branch in a day and only half of the people download this, only half, 50 people times 700 branches, that is 35,000 downloads in a day. In a month, that's over 1 million downloads.
Is it free download?
It's free.
Okay.
That's it. That's the reason why it's free. That's what we do. We're not. It's not money.
We love hearing free.
No.
We don't free.
Because the only way we can achieve our impact is to ensure that it's free for everyone. I just told you that we are not interested in making this subscription, but we need organization to say, Helpbody team, install this in my organization, you know, and support. You know, go to every universities in Nigeria. There are about, you know, maybe 100 or something like that. Go and put it in every university, and we do that. That's why we need philanthropists to come in. That's the reason we have corporate organization and say, put it in all my branches and things. And there are quite a lot of people doing that already. Already, the Ministry of Aviation is in talks with us, and we're looking at actually installing it in almost every airport in Nigeria, which is the port of entry. And that would be fantastic because
a lot of emergencies.
I've had to actually do medical emergency in the plane before, you know, but they had to be screaming to know who can help. Everybody should be a first responder.
Okay, but quickly, because of our time, this is a fantastic idea. And when ideas come like this, I'm really happy. I just hope that it stands the test of time. We've spoken about it greatly on this table. I hope that some years to come by, we're not saying, oh, where's Helpbody? They're not there anymore. So what are the measures you are putting to make sure that this stands the test of time? And also, as we were speaking, I just got a message from someone saying that in time of emergency, a lot of Nigerians are saying that, are you expecting us to be reading in times of emergency? How can we reform them? Because I just got that message from someone watching now. How can we now reform them to tell them that in times of emergency, if you don't know, you ought to read?
Yeah. So now, you know what? The best time to prepare for an emergency is not during the emergency. That's the reason why we tell you right now. So a lot of public advocacy is going to come in. And that's the reason why Ademolu cannot do it alone. Kolade cannot do it alone. Abayemi cannot do it alone and things like that. Because we need everybody to support us. It's a lot of support TVC has given to us to bring us here right now and make it available for everybody in Nigeria. That's what we need from everyone. And that's what's going to make it stand the test of time. If you have this brilliant idea that everybody has been telling us is the fun, this is the first of its kind in the whole of Africa. Why won't you want to support it? By 3 young Nigerians who have not jackpot. You know, and things like that. So that's it. So there's no reason why you won't support this to ensure that it's sustainable. And definitely it is sustainable because we are not willing for anybody to pay for it. We want it to be free to every single mall in Nigeria should have this everywhere. And you will recognize it.
But we pay for the installation, right? To install it. Okay.
Yes. You see, it's like the Pareto's principle. You know, 20% of people could be responsible for what happens in the country. You know, not everybody. So we need the people, you know, that are at the top to support us. you know, the corporate CEOs and say that, oh, put this in my organization so that my employees can have it. You know, because we also back it up with training. We come in to physically train you to
because
ensure
I was
that
going
you
to
know.
ask, for everyone to be a first responder, even if you have the information and you do not know what to do, because just reading is not enough. You have to have a practical idea of how to do the delivery.
I wish I can actually demonstrate this to you. This is the simplest, this is the most, you know, these are not YouTube videos. Anybody can tell you that you can get videos on YouTube. If it is true that you can get videos on YouTube, why do we still have 9 out of 10 Nigerians not knowing what to do in an emergency? So a lot of public advocacy also goes with what we're doing. We're going to be doing a lot of public advocacy, a lot of campaign to drive this thing is going to be multilingual, you know, in Hausa, Yoruba, Igbo, so people can understand it. So the mission is bold. We can't do it alone. So we need people to support us. Call on the Helpbody team through the website and, you know, and reach out to us and see, you know.
Okay, let me quickly go to Dr. Oluwakolade, his final thoughts on this matter as we wrap up this conversation. Dr. Kolade, can you hear me? What are your final thoughts on this conversation as we wrap up the conversation? Yeah.
Oh, okay, thank you. So, for us at Helpbody, we think the time is now where every Nigerian has to, you know, be a first responder. And how can that happen is by using technology. Like my partner said there, we can't train all Nigerians using the brick and mortar approach. It's impossible. We can't train everybody in the classroom. But guess what? We can use Helpbody, you know, to at least create awareness about simple skills, you know, that can be used during medical emergencies. And for us, we're going to take it one community at a time. We're going to drive campaign, right? We're going to drive awareness through every community in Nigeria, from state to state, from LG to LG. We're going to be everywhere.
All right.
And I know that at the end of, you know, our mission, we intend to train about 50 million Nigerians, so that for the first time, Nigeria and Africa can also be on the map, you know, as the first, you know, in the world to have that level of literacy in first aid. Even in the UK or in the US, maybe 4 out of 10, you know, literacy. But
unfortunately, our time is up. Dr. Abayomi Oluwakolade, emergency medicine expert, MD, Well Lane Health, and co-founder, Helpbody Emergency Response. We must thank you, as well as Dr. Ademolu Owoyele, managing director and CEO, Harley and Rainbow Specialized Laboratories, co-founder, Helpbody Emergency Response. Thank you, gentlemen, for your time on the program, and well done on what you are doing.
Thank you.
Right. Still ahead on TVC Breakfast, we'll shine a spotlight on Nigeria's border